Hello, George here. Welcome to the second day of week two. And today we are going to talk about the separate self. And before we get into that, I just want to make sure that everyone is still continuing to go through the 7-step document. So you should be on day 2 there. Throughout the course, remember, I want you to just keep doing that. Keep up with the 5-minute meditation video that I sent you as well. All this stuff is just a cumulative effect. After a while, many of the videos are going to have similar theme, and I'll be repeating and saying the same thing probably in a variety of ways. Just remember, this is just a repetitive process to just really connect to ingraining the openness, the theme of openness within each of these talks, within each of these exercises. So today, the discussion of the separate self is really an important one because it's important to see the division that is created within the separate self. So this is where the real heavy inner tracking work gets in, to seeing the conflict that's within oneself. So if there's division or conflict, this is what inner tracking is going to be revealing. So it's not easy work to ask these types of questions about ourselves, or to have those types of insights and observations. So where does that all stem from? A lot of that has to do with having a difficulty within ourselves of wanting things to be a particular way, or having things not work out the way we would want. So a lot of this does stem from attachments. So those are the types of things that need to be seen. And it's not always easy to observe. These are all self-imposed limitations that we place on ourselves, and we really need to see that in action. Now the question is that what's going to be able to see those processes taking place, to see that division and separation and conflict within oneself? Well, everything that the self does, the self coming from the place of the separate self, can actually be creating more conflict and separation. So that's tricky because we all want to be able to create change and influence in our lives, and we have to understand where that motivation comes from. And this gets back to the question of the self-concern of why we're doing this. Does it come from a place from the separate place? So we're just going to keep hammering away at what's going to be able to see that isn't coming from our separate limited view. And this is where the openness and the awareness and the observation that isn't coming from a centered separate self place is going to provide opportunity to see those actions. So we've got to continue to let go of those limitations, to see those limitations not through our own particular lens. So this isn't a new lens that I'm giving you to look at. This is a lens that already exists within inside you, and that very source of that openness that's already within you is going to reveal to you those limitations, those attachments, and they will begin to dissolve all on their own without your self-imposed, limited, self-directed effort. So today, we just work on continuing to see those limitations, to see those attachments, to see how the separate self is operating. And I'm going to recommend again to just continue to write down some notes in a journal and pay attention and let observation and openness lead the way. All right, have a great rest of the day. Thank you.